Good evening, YouTube. It's your boy Richie Luca, and I want to welcome you to another video. Today, I want to talk about a few topics, and I have my journal in front of me. I'm relaxed. I just got off work. I watched the sunset on my balcony, and I really just got in the mode. Lately I've had a lot going on with these meets that I've been going to all week, and I've been very energetic. So I finally had a moment to wind down and put out this lesson for y'all. And probably after this, I'm going to take a moment to meditate. Today's topic I'd like to address is learn to use your absence to increase your value. Every king needs a period of solitude. Now, what do I mean by this? Everybody has to have that period where you venture off forth by yourself to do what you need to do to grow and develop as an individual. As an adult, you learn to realize that people will come and go in this lifetime, and you will never have the same people in your life consistently, right? So when you understand that the only foundation that you have besides your Lord is yourself, the only consistent variable that you have to depend on is yourself. And if you yourself are not if you yourself are not a dependable factor, that is a concern. That being said, you have to go through that period of solitude where you just work. You inherently challenge yourself, challenge your character, challenge your morals, see what kind of man you are and what you're made of, And once you go through those obstacles, you become a different person. The people you used to surround yourself with, you might not surround yourself with anymore. The people that once knew you have to relearn you. And that's how you know you've really grown into this new person. And you're gonna go through this in multiple stages in your life, depending on what levels you choose to grow through, right? Whether that be from nothing to worker, from worker to CEO, from CEO to retired, multi-millionaire, billionaire, right? There's levels to this. The only separation between all of those different tiers is mentality. You can only work so hard, right? Another great thing for solitude really is it just allows you to plant new seeds. It allows you to water them without having to speak on it and allow another spirit to get his hands on your thoughts and emotions, right? I can tell you something from firsthand, being able to overcome a lot of things by myself. I remember the first time I got into the industry that I work in today. I originally was selling cars at one point. I had a brother of mine who told me that they make a lot of money, and I just went forth and ventured. Deep inside, I always knew I never wanted to go to school. I just didn't see the outcome of school being anything that could line up with what I wanted out of life. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but it just didn't make sense. And one of my brothers told me that selling cars made money, and I tried it, and sure enough it worked, right? But I had family members that started throwing obstacles my way, started throwing challenges my way. And I'm not going to speak too heavily on it, but I didn't really have a lot of support when it came to not going to college, when it came to wanting to venture forth and do my own thing, because I was the first generation to do it, right? And being frank with you, what that really does is it builds you up and helps you understand that you only have yourself to depend on, right? No matter how close you are with somebody. And so ultimately I ended up growing in the car sales field for a little bit, but then I lost faith in myself because I let it get to me, right? I spoke to it to the wrong person. They killed my mentality. I let it get to me and I gave up, right? To this day, I'll never do that again, right? And it's not that I just didn't think that I could do it anymore. No, this is the period of COVID at the time when there were no cars on the lot. So the options that we had to sell were few in number. But I'm not giving an excuse, if that makes sense. So into this new industry that I got put in, I essentially kept my mouth shut. My brother, again, we sat down, we came up with this genius master plan, and out of nowhere, he just asked me to sit down with him, and he asked me, you want to go to work with him? I was like, you know what, sure, cool, I don't have anything else I have to do today, and so, sure enough, I went to work with him, and I seen something I ain't never seen before in my life, and I praise Yahweh for this. And so when I seen that, it was something I was able to take care of him in a position to where we could actually work towards the things that we talked about. I could tell that when he was telling me we could really make this happen, he meant it. We weren't just talking about it, he meant it. So, of course, because I had somebody that I could go in on a plan with, I committed myself because I didn't want to be the one that didn't commit myself. So, because he gave me something concrete that'll give us something to focus on while we focus on this next plan, I just dove in it. I said, you know what, this is the one. I spent like $1,600 that same week all on tools, and I just went in the field immediately. And from there, something beautiful sprouted from not telling anybody, from not talking about it, from doing this entire venture by myself. The only ones included were the ones that were part of the plan, nobody else, right? And the beautiful thing about it is when the work is done and you've built up some success, you can pop out and you can show people like the doubt is gone. The work is done. The only thing that you can do is hype me up. You can support me, but any doubt you throw it's not gonna work. You won't even be able to doubt me because you see it firsthand. And what that does is generate momentum. I'll tell you right now, I love the period of solitude because that's the best time for growth. I'm feeling like you have to have something like that seasonally. You have to do something like that in order to take care of you. That's the stuff that will make the life-changing factors in your life. When you remove yourself, focus on the mission, lock in and grow, right? Next point I really want to dive into because of that really is when you're going through this period of solitude, right? They're going to see you less, right? And now your image is the only thing that's going to be left over of them. An image is very important because it can be very beneficial. When you increase your absence, you want to make sure that the last thing that they do is when they talk about you, they love when you do show up out of nowhere and you're the one that they talk about when you're not good and it's something good, right? You might be like, how do I put myself in position? You don't have to be calculated about it. Just be a genuinely good person, listen to people. Spark their light in their interest, right? What they're passionate about. The same way you were being doubted, the same way people weren't believing in your interests, and you wanted that person that would hear you out, the person that would support you, right? Do that for them, right? But don't give them too much. When you give them too much, that becomes the new normal. You now set a standard for yourself. But if you pop out and you do it once in a lifetime, and you're giving them something that they barely get as is, you're benefiting them, so they naturally want to be around you. And that's the position that you want to put yourself in, right? When I get in front of people, I don't show fake love. I'm actually a very antisocial person, right? Around the right person, I can talk a whole lot. I could talk for hours. I'm learning how to get comfortable on this microphone to talk, to have a conversation with you guys, in case there's somebody out there that's thinking like me, right? I stick to myself. I don't associate myself with a lot of people. But one thing I can say is when I do get in front of somebody, I have the genuine interest in understanding who's in front of me, right? I don't doubt anybody. I don't sleep on nobody. But I don't worship people either. Nah, if I get in front of you, I want to see what kind of person you are. Tell me a little bit about yourself. You seem very passionate in this. I'm curious to know how that came about. I feel like you've had a learning curve to lead you up to that point. I have genuine interest when getting to know these people. And in order to have that, it requires energy. The transition that I'm in right now is being able to build up that energy to socialize and want to get to know people again. Lately I've been very comfortable with my circle, but I wouldn't mind meeting more young and motivated entrepreneurs like myself, aspiring entrepreneurs like myself that want to take their life to the next level, think similarly to me. I wouldn't mind that. And I want to appreciate you for listening as well. Mainly to seal all of this, I'm just saying, don't give too much of yourself to people. Give everything that you have to yourself until you make something out of it, right? Give everything to yourself and give people what they need. Don't over deliver and set a standard for yourself that you can't maintain. Give the people what they need and let them be happy with what they receive, right? And that'll be the new standard. You're the guy that's sharp. You're precise. You're the guy that when they need help or they need guidance, you give them an exact plan that they can execute and they know will work. And you don't give them more, you give them exactly that. That way they know if they need more information, they'll have to come back, right? It'll make them increase respect for you, and it'll make them increase in appreciation for you, and you will be talked about highly. That's the position you want to be in. That's the very same mentality that'll turn you into a millionaire. Shake hands, network with the right people, and if you aren't in a position to where you need a network yet, remove yourself, go into solitude, and plant and water those seeds until they start growing. I promise you it'll be worth it. With that being said, you guys enjoy the rest of this ride. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to today's podcast, and have a good night.